Happy Go Lucky from 2008 stars Sally Hawkins as a happy-go-lucky school teacher. I felt this movie was trying to do a British version of Amelie, but it plays off as kind of a personality test because depending on how you view this, Sally Hawkins' character Poppy can be seen as the hero or the villain of this movie. I was debating how deep I would go on an analysis of this movie in this YouTube video, but I'll just suffice it to say that there's a counterpart to her character in the driving instructor who she's trying to learn how to drive from. He tells her, don't wear high-heeled boots when you come to the driving lessons, and she doesn't listen to him. So either you're the kind of person who would say, don't wear the boots, you idiot, or you're the kind of person who say, oh, just wear the boots, who cares? So that's why I say this movie is kind of a personality test. I love Sally Hawkins and I enjoyed this movie. I gave it a 3, but I think that it really is an inversion of reality. There are a lot more examples I could give, but again, I don't want to go too deep into an analysis of this movie that most people are just going to watch and it's going to wash over them. But in this instance, the main character really irked the hell out of me. So in general, I had mixed feelings, but I love Sally Hawkins. Also, Andrea Riseborough is in this movie, which had me kind of excited, but she's only in the movie for about a minute. So don't watch it for her. Watch it for Sally Hawkins. His Motorbike, Her Island is the second Nobuhiko Obayashi movie I have seen. The first one being House, and House is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's a crazy, wacky movie that most people know of, and if you've seen an Obayashi film, it's probably House. But I'm happy that I have the opportunity to look at some of his other films, starting with this one. It centers around our main character who's a motorcycle enthusiast. This movie, more than anything, is a vibe. It's about summertime, it's about motorcycles, it's about girls, it's about love. A plot synopsis would really not do it any favors. And I'm not saying this movie is style over substance, because there's definitely things that happen. But this is a movie that you just kind of relax into and get into the groove with it and let it take you places. It's very dreamy. The colors change from black and white and back to color. The aspect ratio of the film changes. And although there are some high stakes elements of the plot, the entire thing is just a chill, relaxing experience. And I really enjoyed it. It's a much more solid movie than House. House is more experimental. This film is definitely more conventional. I'm happy that I got to check it out, and I'm definitely looking forward to exploring more of Obayashi's work. My Sister Eileen, the 1942 version, stars Rosalind Russell, who I talked about last week. I'm enamored with her right now, and when I realized I had this one on DVD, I figured I should check it out. In this one, Rosalind Russell plays a reporter named Ruth, and Janet Blair plays Eileen, her sister. They're from Columbus, Ohio, and they have a little bit of a miniature scandal when Ruth writes a favorable review of a play that Eileen is supposed to be in. Before Eileen is in the play, there's a role switch where Eileen ends up not being in the play, so it creates a little bit of controversy. The two sisters decide to leave Columbus, Ohio and go to New York City. All this happens within the first 5 minutes of the film. It's really a setup for their adventures in New York. Ruth and Eileen rent a basement apartment from a very shady landlord, and the back door lock doesn't work, so there's always people coming in and out. It's very madcap, very screwball, all kinds of randomness going on. And of course, Janet Blair as Eileen is supposed to be the beautiful one that all the male characters swoon over. Meanwhile, Rosalind Russell is supposed to be the not so attractive one, which is completely silly to me because, as I stated in my previous video, Rosalind Russell was an absolute smoke show back in the day, though Janet Blair definitely is no slouch as Eileen. If you're looking for a goofy screwball comedy with a lot of snark, check this one out. Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person is a mouthful of a title for a 2023 French-Canadian horror comedy, and as one YouTube comment I saw noted, we are now in anime title territory with some of these movies. This movie is about Sasha, played by Sarah Non-Petit, who is a young vampire in a family of vampires, and she does not want to take up the lifestyle. Her father kind of coddles her and gives her blood, but all the women in the family, her mother, her sister, actually it's her cousin, I believe, and her grandmother tell her that she needs to go out and hunt and get her own blood. That's the setup for this comedy. She meets a boy named Paul who is very depressed, and he wants to just give himself to her. He kind of understands the situation, and they form a little bit of a cute little romance. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was funny. It had really good music. I like the performances from the leads and all the actors, actually. I think if you're looking for a quirky horror comedy with a tiny little bit of gore, but it's more funny than it is a horror movie, then you should definitely check out, I'll say it one more time, Humanist Vampire Seeking Consenting Suicidal Person. Bad CGI Sharks. This was published by SRS, and I got the DVD off Hamilton Book for, I think, $1.99, and I will watch any shark movie with my wife because she's really into shark movies. This one is more of a comedy. It's about two brothers who, when they were young, they liked to make movies and they dreamed about becoming the next Steven Spielberg. But the brothers become estranged from each other when the father realizes that the one is more talented and the other one's just kind of a loser. So they drift apart, but in this movie they come back together and they discover that their sharks that they have dreamt up for their movies when they were a kid have come to life in the real world, and they don't need water because they're actually CGI sharks. Now this movie tries to be a comedy more than anything, but unfortunately it falls into the trap of taking a joke that might make you snicker or giggle a little bit and then running it into the ground by repeating it or extending it way too far to the point where it gets annoying. Now, I didn't hate this movie. I'm giving it 2 stars. I think my wife would have rated it even higher, and I get enjoyment out of watching these bad movies with my wife, so there's an element of that. But I'm not going to go out of my way to recommend this one. It could have been a lot better if the jokes were written a little bit tighter, but it's also not the worst thing I've ever seen. So if you're looking for a bad shark movie, maybe you could check this one out. And that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching to the end. If you like these capsule reviews of movies, I have a whole playlist on my channel, and I'll see you on the next one.